Tracking calories is easy on paper, but there's a few specific things which I see people doing time and time again which can ruin your chances of losing weight. If you're not getting the results that you want with weight loss, then even making just one mistake might just be the reason why. In this video, I'm going to be covering the top 8 pitfalls from tracking calories to help you turn your weight loss efforts from this into this. So jumping into the first one, and that is not owning a set of these. You need to stop just eyeballing ingredients and actually weighing it. Just look at how small the recommended serving size of cereal is. It's absolutely tiny. That wouldn't even feed my 2-year-old niece. Now bumping this up to what looks like a more normal serving size could easily double the amount of calories in the bowl, which if you eat cereal every single day could take you from being in a calorie deficit right up into being in a calorie surplus, which means that rather than losing weight, you would actually put on weight. Buy yourself some cheap kitchen scales and spend the extra 5 minutes weighing your food. I promise it'll be worth it. Now on that note, I want you to imagine a drip and tap. Now a few drops here and there every day means nothing really, it's not a big problem. Now imagine this accumulating over the period of a year. Your entire kitchen or your entire bathroom would be flooded. And this is the same concept when it comes to secretly eating foods. So this is going to be a bite of your partner's meal, or a little bit of your kid's plate, or a splash of milk in your coffee, or a little bit of oil in the pan, stuff that seems negligible to even measure. Now all of these things, a bit like a drip and tap, seems like it makes no difference, but when accumulated, 50 calories here and there not tracked can really make a difference. And that brings me in to mistake number 2. If you're going to be tracking calories, you need to count everything. A bit like a drip and tap, a bite of food here and there won't make a difference in the short term, but in the long term it could really stop you losing weight. The third mistake that I see people make, and that is treating calorie tracking as though it is a prison sentence and it is forever. Now tracking calories, in my opinion, it's a temporary thing to teach you how much energy is in your food. And for a lot of people, it can actually be quite liberating, giving themselves some control over the types of food that they're eating and educating themselves about what they're eating. So try not to go into it with a really negative mindset that it's really tedious, it's really obsessive, it's going to take loads and loads of time. Because if you're only doing it temporarily and you know that it's just for a short period, then it's not going to be for very long and it's for positive reasons. So try and have a decent mindset when you're doing it. Obviously though, that being said, tracking calories, like any medical intervention, comes with risks, and those risks can be higher for certain people. So it's important to weigh this up before you start doing it and consult with your doctor. So number 4 is probably the most important mistake not to make, and it's one that I see people do time and time again, and that is not thinking about food quality when you're looking at calories. So calorie counting can kind of give you a mindset of, right, I've got 100 calories left for the day and a banana has the same amount of calories as a Freddo, so I may as well just eat the Freddo. And yes, if you're tracking calories, these do mean exactly the same on the app. If your goal is only calories, then it does mean the same. But it's really important not to kind of get too hung up on the actual values, and also have it in the back of your mind of which foods have the best quality. So when you're in a calorie deficit, it's really, really important to make sure that you're not constantly hungry. So getting in enough fibre, enough protein, enough healthy fats, all of this stuff. I mean, I've done an entire video on it, so you can look at that if you'd like. But what I usually recommend doing when tracking calories is for the first 2 weeks, you need to focus on getting to grips with it. So getting to grips with how to actually write down all of the calories, how to log all of your food, and keep your diet relatively the same, because that's quite a big change to begin with. And then after week 2, from week 3 onwards, I want you to gradually increase the quality of your food. So week on week, make it a little bit better and make slow behaviour changes along the way, whilst constantly keeping in foods just because you like the taste of them, because that's what you should do with any diet anyways. So yeah, try and focus on food quality, please. It's really, really important. If you're going to take anything from this video, then it definitely should be that. And along with that, people who are on a lower calorie diet also tend to pick lower fat and lower calorie foods. Now this is a pitfall that so many people fall into. Fat is an essential macronutrient. Healthy fat is really, really important for building hormones and loads of other different functions in the body. As well as that, some essential vitamins, so A, E, D and K are all fat soluble, which means that it needs to dissolve in fat in order to be absorbed. Now this is really, really important because if you're not getting enough fat, then obviously that is bad. So if you are the type of person that opts for lower fat or lower calorie stuff, you just need to keep an eye out that you're getting decent amounts of healthy fat from other sources, and then you'll be fine. And also, lots of diet versions of food aren't actually healthier anyways. So yes, the fat is removed, but it's often replaced with shitloads of sugar and loads of other crap. So yeah, it's just something to bear in mind when you're looking at kind of diet foods and foods manufactured to be healthy. If it says it's healthy on the packet, don't believe them, do your own research. So number 6 is going to be all about accountability. Now, if you're the type of person who can start a habit, snap their fingers and then just stick to it, and that is you, then that's absolutely great, but this habit does not apply to you. But for the vast majority of us, me included, it's really, really hard to stick to a habit. And what can massively help this is having someone to account for. So someone that you're going to every single day that you don't want to let down, basically. And this will massively improve your chance of success. Now, as far as tracking calories goes, this can literally just be as simple as either writing everything down and taking a picture, or jotting everything down in MyFitnessPal, taking a screenshot and then sending a WhatsApp message to someone else, and then you do that every single day. And the absolute best people to do this with are going to be people that you feel confident and comfortable with sharing what you eat, but also not too comfortable to the point where you actually care about letting them down. So you want to show up for them every single day. And people who are on the same journey as you can be absolutely great and really, really motivating as well. And C is going to be either a fitness coach or a nutrition coach. And obviously I'm biased, but that is going to be a really, really good option. And this option is also really, really good for continuous motivation. And if you want the motivation but don't want to pay the money, we have a motivational email list. So that is where we send out emails from either me or one of our other coaches. So if you want to sign up to that, the link is in the bio. So number 7 is going to be that thinking that calorie counting is the only way of losing weight. Now, counting calories and tracking is not the only way to lose weight. In my opinion, it is a really good option, but of course there's way other ways to do it. So if you really don't like calorie counting, if it doesn't suit you, if for medical reasons it doesn't suit your personality, then it is not the end all and be all of weight loss. So if you try it and you don't like it, it doesn't mean that you're broken, it doesn't mean that your genetics are bad, it just might not be the method that's most suited to you. If you don't get along well with calorie counting, persevere, don't give up and try a different method. All that I ask though is that you're patient with it and give it enough time to be able to see some results and give it a chance to work, basically. And on top of that, if it isn't working, make sure that you look at every mistake in this video and make sure that you're not doing any of them. And after that, you can declare that you don't like it or it's not for you, and rather than giving up, move on to something else. And 2 other methods that we use here are appetite retraining and portion size control. So the 3 main ones that we use is calorie counting, appetite retraining and portion size control. So there's plenty of ways to skin a cat, and there's also plenty of ways to lose weight, so don't give up, you'll find the method that suits you eventually. Now, number 8 is a mistake that I see every single Friday night and Saturday night, and that is that people do not track on weekends. So they're absolutely idle about it through the week, measuring, weighing their broccoli, doing everything right, and then it comes to Friday and Saturday and they think, wow, I deserve a treat, I deserve to not track, I can't be bothered, and they just throw it all away, basically. Now, of course, these days where you're not tracking can massively push your average calories up, which means no weight loss. Now, the main benefit of calorie counting over the other methods like appetite retraining and portion size control, in my opinion, is that it can give you the flexibility over weekends. Now, I personally love a weekend. I love having a bit more fun. I love going out for meals, and calorie counting is by far the best method, in my opinion, to be able to do this. A bit like if you were to balance out your finances and you went a bit overboard on one day, you would spend a little bit less on the other days to make sure that the average was always kind of roughly the same. This means that on a weekend where you're going to go out, you should just eyeball the calories that you're having. So say if I was going to a restaurant and ordered a pizza, I would estimate that to be about 1,000 calories and loosely track it. And that also includes alcoholic drinks, so that is so important. There's 70 calories in one shot of vodka, which is absolutely loads. Obviously though, if you go out every single weekend, you do need to keep an eye on this, that it doesn't turn into kind of behaviours that are affecting you negatively or anything like that. So that is today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Likewise, if you didn't enjoy it, give it a dislike and tell me how to improve it in the comments, please. I have a nutrition coaching company, so if you want to check that out, the link will be in the bio. But otherwise, thank you for choosing to spend your time with me, and I will see you in the next one.